smoking, tobacco, mirror, these are the addictive things of Muslims. And because we indulge in them, we try to find excuses. Yet when we find someone drinking alcohol, we say, look, this person is doing haram, but we are also doing haram. At least accept a sin. I remember one of the Sheikh of Khurafat, he told me, it's better for someone to be indulged in Khurafat than him to be an alcoholic. I said, Wallahi, I'm not going to lie. It's better to be an alcoholic than to be a person of Khurafat. At least the person who is drinking alcohol knows that he's sinning. He might one day do tawbah. But the one who is doing Khurafat, he not only doesn't consider it a sin, but he indulges in it as thawab, na'udhu billah. The chances of him doing tawbah, the doors are closed. Shaitan has misled him there. The one who is drinking alcohol, at least he considers it a sin. He has that remorse, guilt. His conscience is still intact. But with us, we compare mirror to alcohol. The level of drunkenness in mirror and alcohol are totally different. You can't compare them. Yes, the West bans mirror or bang or heroin for beneficial materialistic gain, nothing else. Nothing else. The reason why heroin and cocaine are banned and it's a crime, it's because it does not add to their GDP, nothing more. Vineyards are very extensive, especially in the Europe and US. So it adds to their GDP. Yet when you drink wine or alcohol, you become abusive, aggressive, you hurt others, you drive and crash, you urinate on yourself, you become active sexually and commit zina, na'udhu billah. But the same thing if you take in heroin, which is also haram. What does heroin do to you? It just makes you drowsy, nothing else. You can't even raise your hand. You can't abuse someone. You can't be sexually active. You can't drink when you can't even drive when you're under the influence of heroin. You just lie down drowsy somewhere. It is a less of an evil compared to alcohol. But because heroin can only be grown in commercial value in Afghanistan, cocaine can only be grown in commercial value in South America. That is why it is banned. Because the largest users of cocaine and heroin are Europe and Americans. So it takes away their GDP. They are not concerned with the negative effects it has on humans. They are only concerned that it is taking away their GDP. To them, haram is what becomes a debit in their finances. And anything that adds a credit to their finances, they are okay with it. Because alcohol, the vines are grown in Europe and US. That's why they are very okay with it. Today, they are openly supporting Ukraine against Russia. You know why? Ukraine is the largest grower of barley and wheat, which is used for beer. Even the flag of Ukraine is yellow and blue. The blue skies under which the barley grows, the yellow wheat and barley. These people are atheists. Their constitution only deals with dunya, not akhirah. Mirror does not add value to your digestive system. My sheikh gave me a very standardized norm, and he said, if you want to know something is khamr, كل ما يخمر العقل فهو خمر. Anything that interferes with your brain or your nervous system is toxic, is khamr. Anything that intoxicates your brain. It's not just beer. It's only that khamr now has become the common word for beer. How do you know this is khamr and this is food? Because some people also say, what about tea? Yes, tea has got additives, caffeines. But tea is not khamr. It does not interfere with your brain. Tea goes down to the stomach. How do you know between khamr and food? When you're hungry, even if someone cooks skin of the goat and brings it to you, you will eat it. When you're hungry, you don't know. Even if he puts a whole kilo of salt in it, you will still eat it. Why? Because you're hungry. But as soon as your hunger is satiated, you start saying, it's like food, whereby your stomach, as it gets filled up, your brain starts criticizing the food, negating it. But with khamr, mira, half a kilo, the moment you make it 1 kilo, you start, today this one has come very good, it's very fresh. Why? Because it starts intoxicating your brain. It shuts off your thinking system. So that is how you know this is food and this is khamr. So whether it's mira, whether it's pan, whether it's tobacco, whether it's kuber, and whether it's naswar, it is still haram. Naswar is the kuber that some people know. It is very much used in our countries in Afghanistan. It is kept right under the lip, next to the tooth. It is the most dangerous. It is more dangerous than beer. You can reform and rehabilitate from bang, from mira, from alcohol, from kuber, but you cannot, very rarely, reform or rehabilitate from naswar. Naswar is tobacco, green tobacco. They add some lime in it, and you don't chew it or you don't drink it. You just put it next to your lip in the nerve that is next to your tooth. And the moment you get addicted, that's the end. It's very rare to leave it. My maternal grandfather, during Hajj, they used to travel by ship. He said, when I was boarding the ship, someone told me, Sheikh, you look very nice. You've got such a beautiful beard and a turban and everything. But this chicken poop that you put in your mouth, it doesn't suit you. He said, I took the whole thing and threw it out in that excitement. The 7 or 8 days travel of ship from Pakistan all the way to Mecca, he said, I did not know. I used to just wake up for food, pray and go to sleep. I did not know what was going on. How I reached Mecca, I don't know. 60 years later, when he was narrating to us this story, he says, even now when someone is putting that naswar, I feel the itch. It is that addictive. Just because the non-Muslims are not using it does not make it halal for Muslims. Just because we Muslims are using mira does not mean that alcohol is haram and mira is not. It is. Even the research that is being done shows that mira is haram. Those who are saying, oh, it has got medicinal values, even khamr. فيهما إثم ومنافع للناس وإثمهما أكبر من نفعهما. Even khamr, beer, alcohol is beneficial. If you eat meat a lot and you drink red wine, it opens up your muscles. Do you know that? It makes your fibers. It makes you more sexually active. So there are benefits in it, but the negative effects are much more than the benefits. Remember, everything has a pro and a con. That's why I'm going to pick up the same issue when it comes to LGBTQ. There are the pros and the cons. You cannot say because the pros are there, then we can overlook the cons. The same way, when you say someone is virtuous, it does not mean he does not have vices. He has. But the virtues override the vices. In the same way, when someone is a criminal, it does not mean he does not have virtues. But his crimes have overridden the virtues. So mira might have beneficial medicinal values, but the negative effects are far greater. And when it does not have any digestive value, such that even a goat will not eat mira and tobacco. Amazing to say, even those who use mira, they say the goats don't go near mira. The pests don't attack mira. Mira is never sprayed with pesticide. Tobacco it is, but with the Mira there's no pesticide they use. It is that poisonous that even the rodents don't want it. And then you put it inside. And we are the largest consumers, especially Yemen. Yemen, they are dying of starvation and hunger and famine, but they have money for Mira. And we very well know when Mira is being transported, they drive like mad, crazy. They break all the laws. No traffic policeman can stop a Mira van. Why? It is our cash crop. Subhanallah. And it has to be eaten within a certain period of time. After that, it goes, because there are some juices in it that affect negatively. The same thing with the beetle. It's called pan. There are different types of pan. There's that which has just mouth freshness. Even that one is makruh. It's better to avoid it. Instead of taking a step towards the makruh, which might lead you to haram, avoid it at all. And the tobacco one, there's 420, there's 160, there's 180. They put tobacco inside. And it affects your brain directly. It has nothing to do with the stomach. And if you have it on an empty stomach, it might even cause concussion. So these things are haram. In this hadith of the Prophet, they say that when the Wafd of Dhul Qais came, after the Prophet Muhammad received them, they said, "O Prophet of Allah, when we get to you, between us and you, there's a certain tribe that attacks us on the way, highway robbers. We cannot easily access you. So can you teach us something that will benefit us? Because we can only access you during the Ashur al-Hurum, which is 4 months in a year, 3 months consecutive and 1 month different." So the Prophet now gave them some advice. First and foremost, he gave them their do's. Then he gave them the don'ts. The do's were, other than shahada, iqamus salah. I talked about this even last week, that when it comes to iqamus salah, the people from the rural areas, because of their ikhlas, they have no stress, they can pray salah more comfortably. Unlike us, we have to earn to drive a Prado, to have the latest iPhone, to have the latest laptops, to have our children in the best schools. So day and night we stress ourselves, such that even when we are praying salah, our mindset is usually not focused. Our mindset is usually not focused. If it's the businessmen, they are thinking about the deals, the sweet deals in salah. If it's about the casual laborers, they are thinking how they can add extra hours and work overtime to meet their ends. And if it's the shuyukh, in salah they are thinking, which haji today is present? Which haji can sponsor my project? Which haji can sponsor my madrasa? We are all engrossed. But the people of the village, they are less. Why? Because they farm everything. Their food comes direct from the field, not processed. I remember my Egyptian sheikh, who was my teacher for hifz, he said, when you are here in this country, that whatever I'm earning is extra. I've got a field, I plant rice and wheat. Everything comes from there. I've got a cow that gives me milk. The only thing I buy from outside is cooking oil and salt and sugar. The rest, everything I plant. So they have less stress. And because they physically work hard on those fields, they don't have time for idle talk. So when this wafd came, the Prophet Muhammad just gave them the basics, knowing that these people, when they are engrossed in the basics, they go to the maximum Unlike us, because our faraid, they are nawaqis, we have to pray sunnah to cover for the shortcomings. But for them, they grow extra. They go in the extra mile. That's why when he said, in the other hadith, that one I think I missed out. It's also about the same thing. And he said, هل علي غيره? He said, إلا أن تطوع. إلا أن تطوع. After praying my salah, is there anything else? He said, it is the nawafil. The qabliya and ba'diya and the sunan. And I'm sorry to say this, today our children, most of them don't know the sunnah qabliya and ba'diya and the nawafil. And the witr they don't know completely except in Ramadan. The witr is wajib. In some of the fuqaha's issues, it is like a sixth salah. The only difference of opinion is the dua al-qunut. The witr is there all year round. The only difference among the fuqaha is whether the dua al-qunut should be there all year round, or only in Ramadan, or only in the last part of Ramadan. That's the only difference. Most people have taken that the witr is only Ramadan. No. The witr is there all year round. It's only the dua al-qunut that differs. And the same thing when it comes for qunut in Salat al-Fajr and Salat al-Maghrib. These are sunnahs that we've forgotten. We should revive them. Yes, the Ahnaf say that those are qunut in Nazila. But Imam Shafi rahmatullahi alayhi clearly indicates that there's qunut in Maghrib and Fajr. And especially the Fajr one. We should be very much alert of it. And we should try and revive it. Why? Because Fajr begins our day. It is the thing that we should begin with dua. So we should try and make sure we study these things. Then he said, وَصِيَامُ Ramadan. Ramadan only. هَلْ عَلَيَّ غَيْرَ إِلَّا أَن تَطَوَّعَ. Siyam Ramadan and Ita'u Zakah. He did not tell them about Hajj. Now this is the issue that I've picked up constantly. Is this issue of Hajj. Today Haram is slipping away from our hands. Al-Quds has gone. Let's not lie to ourselves. Al-Quds has gone and has been given away. It has not been snatched, it was been given away. I told you, I finished my research, but inshallah I will try in my next bayan to speak about the treaty that gave Quds away. It was given away by the Muslims to the Crusaders, who now gifted it to the Jews. So there's a whole game that has been played. But Haram is also slipping away from our hands. First and foremost, those who are in control of Haram are not Salihin now. I'm sorry to say this. They openly celebrate Halloween, gambling, dancing. غير صالحين. They are not pious and righteous. Another thing, Haram and Hajj is becoming a tour now. Very soon, you can see this hadith, Hajj is not mentioned. In the other three hadith also that I narrated last week, there is no Hajj. They are going to use this. Remember, these are scholars. These are not just people, laymen. These are scholars. They are going to tell you, look, Hajj does not play any importance here. Hajj is for the very rich, and they'll make it a tour. And it is a tour these days. You come down from Makkah Towers into Haram, from Haram to Makkah Towers. Even in Arafah there's AC. Hajj should be somewhere whereby you feel you are doing ibadah. In Arafah you should sit in the sand, not on carpets. You should feel the heat, not in AC. Yes, these are luxuries that Allah has given us, but we should not use them to the extent that even Hajj now we make it just a luxury item. So Haram is also slipping away. And be very careful. If they can gift the Quds, they can very easily gift the Haram to the non-Muslims. There's another riwayah also, whereby during Fath Makkah, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam asked for the key of Kaaba. It was in the hands of a mushrik at that time. He opened the Kaaba, performed whatever salah was supposed to be performed, locked the Kaaba and gave back the key to the same person. They are going to use this hadith also. that look, it is not a must that the custody of the Kaaba be in the hands of Muslims. Be very careful, my ulama and my shuyukh. This is another strategy they use. Remember, the non-Muslims and the fasiqeen do not sleep and do not just come overnight. They do their research. Unlike, I'm sorry to say, our Muslims, we sleep. We just quote the fatwas. And we don't even know that sometimes these fatwas are specific, because a fatwa is specific with the event, the date, the place, the person. A fatwa can differ from person to person in the same place. That's why it's called fatwa and not mas'ala. When you pick up Fatawa Ibn Baz rahimahullah or Fatawa Ibn Uthaymin, those are fatawas, yes, very genuine, very authentic, but they are specific for certain events. Sometimes those same fatwas can differ. So you cannot tell me because it is written in Ibn Uthaymin or Ibn Baz rahimahullah, then that is general. That's not a general trend. That is a fatwa. Be very careful. The same way, the constitution of the Kenya is the same. When you go to the law reforms or the Kenyan law society book, the lawyers use different from what is in the constitution. The judgments from each magistrate to another magistrate differs. Same law, same constitution, same crime. This is the difference between a fatwa and a mas'ala. So you can't even tell me that Ibn Baz has written that, alhamdulillah, asaba. But you should remember, go back and try and see what does that fatwa concern. So this is what they're going to use. These are some of the narrations. I'm still doing my research to find out more. We are not against Saudis or Hijaz, no. But where it is haram, it is haram. لو سرقت فاطمة بن محمد لقطعت يدها. If Fatima bint Muhammad is wrong, I will still bring the justice on her. When Zubair ibn Awam stood up against Hujjaj ibn Yusuf, he was not a Rafidi. Some people say this is Aqidah Rafidiyya. No. Yes, we are against the Rafidi because their intention is to remove the bodies of Bakr and Umar from Medina. That one we are against it. We are not going to give haram to Rafidis. But Zubair ibn Awam was not a Rafidi. Hussein, when he stood out against Yazid, was not a Rafidi. Al-kalimatu haq inda malikin jabir jihadun. So sometimes we have to speak the truth. But make sure you do not hurt your Muslim brother because of hearsay or rumors. Make sure you do not divide the Muslim world because of your personal selfish issues. So my last thing again is, inshallah, please let's avoid mira, especially during this Ramadan. Let us take that oath that mira is haram. So that na'udhu billah, thumma na'udhu billah, if you are still indulging in mira, at least you have that sense that it is haram. Because when you have that sense that it is haram, then the doors of tawbah are still open. The moment you go to makruh, finished. You have closed those doors. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك وصلى الله على خير خلق محمد وآله وأصحابه أجمعين والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.